91% of couples who use this one simple metaphor to describe their relationship are still together after 5 years. The other 9%? They're divorced or broken up within 18 months. But here's what's terrifying. Most people have no idea what metaphor they're actually living by in their relationship. They think they're building something beautiful together when they're actually setting themselves up for heartbreak. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to identify your relationship metaphor, why it predicts your future together with scary accuracy, and most importantly, how to shift to the one metaphor that creates lasting love. I discovered this relationship secret completely by accident. I was interviewing couples for my research on what makes relationships last, and I started noticing something strange in how they talked about their partnerships. The couples who stayed together all described their relationship using the exact same type of metaphor. The ones who broke up, they used completely different language without even realizing it. It turns out that the metaphors we use to describe our relationships aren't just words. They're unconscious blueprints that shape every decision we make, every conflict we have, and ultimately whether we grow together or grow apart. Let me show you the 3 most common relationship metaphors and why 2 of them are basically relationship death sentences. The first one is the journey metaphor. This sounds romantic, right? People say things like, "We're on this journey together," or "Our relationship is an adventure." But here's the problem with journey metaphors. Journeys have destinations. And what happens when you reach the end? Journey couples unconsciously start looking for the next adventure, the next destination. They get restless. They start wondering if there's a more exciting path with someone else. The journey metaphor creates an itch that can never be scratched. The second deadly metaphor is the work metaphor. These couples say things like, "Relationships take work," or "We're working on our relationship." This might sound healthy and mature, but it's actually toxic. Think about work. What do you want to do after a long day of work? You want to clock out. You want to go home. You want to be somewhere else. Work metaphors make love feel like labor. But here's where this gets really weird. I found couples who had been together for 40, 50, even 60 years. And when I asked them to describe their relationship, they never used journey or work metaphors. Ever. Instead, they all used variations of the same metaphor. The garden metaphor. They talked about growing together, nurturing their relationship, planting seeds of love, and tending to their partnership. At first, I thought this was just cute old-fashioned language. But then I realized something profound. Gardens don't have destinations. They just keep growing. Gardens don't require exhausting labor. They require gentle, consistent care. When you see your relationship as a garden, you understand that some seasons will be more beautiful than others. Spring brings new growth, summer brings abundance, fall brings harvest, and winter brings rest and preparation for new life. Garden couples don't panic during the difficult seasons. They don't abandon their garden when it looks bare in winter. They understand that challenges are natural cycles, not signs that something is fundamentally wrong. But here's what most people get wrong about the garden metaphor. They think it means just being patient and waiting for good things to grow. That's not how gardens work. Real gardeners are actively involved. They water regularly. They pull weeds before they take over. They plant new seeds. They prune dead branches. They create conditions for growth. Gardens require attention, not just time. So how do you know what metaphor you're actually living by? Listen to your language. When you fight, do you talk about getting back on track or finding your way? That's journey thinking. Do you talk about working harder or putting in more effort? That's work thinking. Do you feel exhausted by your relationship like you've been doing overtime? That's the work metaphor destroying your love. But if you naturally talk about growing closer, nurturing each other, or weathering storms together, you're already thinking like a gardener. And that means you're building something that can last decades. Here's a simple test. Imagine your relationship 5 years from now. Journey thinkers picture a different destination. Work thinkers feel tired just thinking about it. Garden thinkers see deeper roots and more beautiful blooms. But what if you realize you've been stuck in journey or work thinking? The good news is, you can change your metaphor starting today. And when you do, everything about your relationship transforms. Start by changing your language. Instead of saying, "We need to work on this," try, "Let's nurture this part of our relationship." Instead of, "Where is this relationship going?" ask, "What do we want to grow together?" Replace journey language with growth language. Replace work language with nurturing language. Your unconscious mind will start operating from this new blueprint, and your actions will naturally align. Garden couples approach conflicts differently. They don't see problems as roadblocks on a journey or as more work to be done. They see conflicts as weeds to be gently removed so love can flourish. They understand that some seasons require more attention. Maybe your career garden is demanding right now, so your relationship garden needs extra water. Maybe stress is like drought, so you both need to be more intentional about nurturing. Here's the most powerful insight about garden relationship. Unlike journeys that end and work that burns you out, gardens become more beautiful with time. The longer you tend them, the more spectacular they become. Those couples married 50 years? Their gardens are masterpieces. They have deep roots that can weather any storm. They have beauty that took decades to cultivate. They have abundance that keeps giving. But here's what they know that young couples don't. Gardens require different care in different seasons. In the passion of early love, everything grows wild and fast. That's the spring of your relationship. Then comes summer. The initial excitement settles into steady growth. This is when journey couples get bored and work couples feel exhausted. But garden couples know summer is when you enjoy the fruits of your spring planting. Fall brings the harvest of deep intimacy. Winter brings the rest and reflection that prepares you for new growth. Garden couples never panic in winter because they know spring always returns. The most successful couples I studied all had this in common. They protected their garden from weeds like resentment, comparison, and neglect. They planted seeds daily through small acts of love, appreciation, and attention. They understood that gardens need both sunshine and rain. They celebrated the joy and growth, but they also knew that tears and challenges watered the soil of deeper intimacy. Most importantly, they never compared their garden to others. They knew that every garden is unique, grows at its own pace, and produces its own unique beauty when tended with love. So tonight, have this conversation with your partner. Ask them what metaphor they use to think about your relationship. Share what you've learned about gardens. Start using garden language and watch what happens. Remember, you're not trying to reach a destination. You're not trying to complete a project. You're cultivating something alive that will grow more beautiful with every season of love, attention, and care you give it. Your relationship is not a journey with an ending. It's not work that will exhaust you. It's a living garden that can bloom for decades if you tend it with the wisdom of those who've grown love that lasts. If this changed how you think about relationships, hit that like button and subscribe for more insights that can transform your love life. What metaphor have you been using? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Start tending your relationship garden right now, and in 20 years, you'll have something absolutely beautiful growing between you.